Anyway, here we have Fairy Peak's VOD from earlier. Now, the problem with window capture is that if I pause this video, like right now, I'll pause it. Now, if I press play, it's currently playing on my screen, but it's still frozen on stream. So what we're going to have to do is just leave this playing throughout. As much as I would love to annoy you guys by pausing every 5 seconds to talk about what is happening, I'm kind of forced to not do that because it is just going to make it lag. If you want to watch this VOD and, you know, pause it, and also catch the other 3 games that happened in this little Fairy Peak versus oKhaliD ranked session, then head over to twitch.tv/FairyPeak. He streams all the time, but he likes to remind us every now and then that he's still an absolute monster at once. So there's oKhaliD, 1785 rating. He told me that he was just randomly queuing into ones, and he just ended up playing against Fairy Peak. But this is a game that I missed live. I have gone back and watched this one to see what happened, and I was really impressed with what I saw. I thought you guys will have to see this. Wait, has it frozen again? I don't know why that happens. Hold on, let me find the start of the game. You didn't miss anything. Let me just keep OBS open for a while and make sure that it's not freezing. I'm just gonna leave my OBS there so I can see that it isn't frozen. Do you guys see this? Yeah? It's good? Type 1 in chat if it's all good. Blue Boy, thanks for the 18-month tier 1. Welcome back to the stream. And Ward up at 250 bits. Thanks for the spam, dude. Better now? Okay, so it's Fairy Peak versus oKhaliD. Game 1 of a little 5-game ranked session that they just ended up having. If you want to see all the games, head over to Fairy Peak's channel. I'm only going to be showing you guys 2 of them. And like I said before, I can't pause this because it'll just freeze the screen permanently. So Fairy Peak getting an accidental goal to start things off. He tried to flick the ball. oKhaliD thought he was going to flick the ball, and he ended up just missing and getting the happy little accident fake. It does happen. But I think Fairy Peak's style would have definitely caught oKhaliD off guard here because Fairy Peak plays so differently. He plays so intelligently compared to your average ranked player that oKhaliD is probably running into. That's a monstrous shot from oKhaliD, but the bounce is not very kind to him. And he got a bit greedy on the recovery. What a save, though. That is just something else. Fairy Peak's really quick with the turning and goes 2-0 up anyway. Very good mechanics on the turning here from Fairy Peak. He has to be spot on with those. The difference between turning quick enough to score and turning like me is not actually that large, but Fairy Peak makes it look easy. oKhaliD's kickoff goal makes it 2-1. But if I remember correctly, Fairy Peak figured out oKhaliD's kickoff in this game. You'll notice oKhaliD was going really far across the ball there. He's just pushing it right through. Now notice Fairy Peak did the same thing there, but he did it even more greedily. Now this is something you guys can do in your own games. If you notice your opponent is trying to push the ball from one side all the way across to the other side that they've spawned on, you just do the same thing but do it a little bit more greedy, because then you're likely to win and they're flipping in the opposite direction. Not the best positioning by oKhaliD here. Fairy Peak's going to punish him again. What's the time in the VOD? So yeah, it's Fairy Peak's second most recent VOD currently, and it's just about an hour into the VOD the game starts. Just about an hour into it. You guys can watch it. Watch the games that I don't show you on Fairy Peak's channel. Yeah, Fairy Peak already with some very smart little plays there. That's a good mind game by oKhaliD, though. I mean, Fairy Peak's got a good reason to be scared of the booming shot from the near post there. But oKhaliD very easily getting the mind game afterwards. Fairy Peak still getting a couple of kickoff goals, so definitely kickoff pressure. This match is not live. I can't pause it because it'll freeze the screen for you guys after I play it again. It won't be playing for you. So I'm just going to have to leave it playing. I don't know how to stop that from happening on OBS these days, unfortunately. I'm using window capture to bring you guys this game. Now, Fairy Peak there actually totally switched up his kickoff. He went on the other side of the ball entirely. And he didn't lose the previous kickoff to this one. So actually what Fairy Peak did there is he won a kickoff, but he anticipated oKhaliD changing his kickoff to try and counter what Fairy Peak just did. And Fairy Peak went one step further. So, he, you know, basically they're playing rock, paper, scissors. And he knew that oKhaliD was going to switch from rock to paper. Went from paper to scissors himself. You know, that's a good bump by oKhaliD. These games happened earlier today, so they're very recent. Very, very recent. Lampskewer, thanks for the 3-month prime. Welcome back to the stream, buddy. And Cookie Crisp as well, thanks for the 4-month prime. I really appreciate that. Fairy Peak's absolutely dominating the kickoffs here. Very impressive stuff. He switched it up again. He just keeps on switching. You know, one time he'll kind of go for the hook style kickoff. That's where you switch sides in your approach and then flip backwards through the back through the ball to try and drag it into the side of the field you spawned on. Little fake rebound there by Fairy. Didn't go for the boost steal, and that's pretty smart. Not a greedy line of play, which is good to be safe if you're this far ahead. I reckon Fairy Peak probably could have scored that. Lacking a lot of power on the shot, but he's still totally fine here. Hey, thank you, the Turtle 2, for the 38 months, tier 1. You know, this is something I've seen from oKhaliD more recently that wasn't always a part of his game. I think it's become a part of his game after he started losing games, the occasional game, and now, of course, the occasional series, of course, as well, with Jorias and Fairy Peak challenging him. But he has a real, I guess, unwillingness to just do what he did there. See, right there, he just shoots the ball, no nonsense. But on the previous play, he was very unwilling to do that, and I think that shows the respect that oKhaliD has for the goalkeeping of his opponents. Because if you rewind about 7 or 8 months from now, you know, you go back to last November, December, oKhaliD had no respect for the goalkeeping of his opponents. He was just thinking, nobody saves my ground shots. If I just ping that into the top left corner, it's a goal every time. But now, people are actually able to read oKhaliD's bounce dribbles to a far greater degree. And it means that he needs to mix up his approach a lot more. He needs to go for a lot more mind games, a lot more no shots at all. But I think he might be overdoing it at times. I really do miss that no-nonsense oKhaliD that we used to get in Game 1. So he would just come out, score 4 ground shots in a row and be like, yeah, what are you going to do? Yeah, usually these days oKhaliD's Game 1 is a lot more calculated. It's a lot more just reactionary. And I wonder if that is causing him problems. I really do. Still though, Fairy Peak, a very different kind of player to what oKhaliD is used to running into in ranked. He's right now in ranked mode, and ranked players are not going to be as smart as Fairy Peak on average. They're not going to be as careful as Fairy Peak on average. They're going to be lunging in for everything. So oKhaliD playing a much more slow game is probably a great counter to your average ranked ball chaser. Look at that shot. That's really good stuff from oKhaliD. So he has switched it up here at the end of the game. He's just shooting, lol. He's just taking shots. He's scoring as well. But is it too late? Fairy Peak's kickoff adaptation, as well as his clinical finishing, has put him way in the lead. Oh, I remember this goal. This is pretty funny. oKhaliD just gets totally outplayed by the Fairy Peak reverse into the ball. I mean, it happens occasionally. I can't believe that Fairy Peak didn't watch that replay. I really... Like, listen, type 2 in chat if you would have 100% watched that replay. If it was you that scored that goal, I would have watched that replay every single time. Fairy Peak is just here playing ranked. He's just like, yeah, that was funny. Next. He's just right into the next goal. And these two, of course, have a lot of respect for each other. I'll remind you guys of a story that most of you are probably aware of. Oh, it's frozen. Okay, hold on. How did that happen? I don't know how that happened, but what was the last thing you guys saw? What was the last thing you guys saw? Probably somewhere like this. I don't know why that froze, but I'll fix it. We'll go back to here. Hold on. I'm going to try and make it freeze again just to test. Okay, that didn't make it freeze. That didn't make it freeze. Ah, I found out what makes it freeze. Or I found out one of the things that makes it freeze. So apparently, if I select OBS, it freezes. That's kind of stupid, but what can you do? What can you do? Apparently, I'm not allowed to select OBS from here. I have to just leave it. Yeah, we'll go back to here. I'm going to try and not select OBS. Nice shot by oKhaliD. Still, though, Fairy Peak's got such a monstrous lead, it should be fine. Anyway, what was I saying? You think that oKhaliD needs to expand his offensive repertoire? I don't think he does, to be honest. I really don't think that's one of oKhaliD's biggest weaknesses right now. I think oKhaliD's weaknesses are, number one, he doesn't just go for it enough. I want to see more no-nonsense shots from him than we see these days. I just want to see him go for shots and see what happens. You know, early in a game, just hit some bangers, because that's the oKhaliD that we know and love. And then you can maybe adapt to the mind games. Okay, so we're going to skip game 2 of the mini little ranked series that they had between each other. I know it's frozen. I know I'm moving to the next game. So if I'm not mistaken, so between this game and the last one, oKhaliD did win a game. It was a really close game, very good game. I encourage you guys to go over to FairJame's channel and watch it yourselves. The VOD here is his VOD from the 31st of August. And I think the title is One's Chill into Fall Guys. Just go 1 hour into that VOD. It's a 1 hour and 36-minute VOD. And you'll be able to find all the games here. Really nice infield play by FairJame here. This is what I'm talking about. The no nonsense. Just take a shot. Wait, did I say August? Sorry, July. Hey, answer my yes Johnson, thanks to the 8-month prime, and my Mr. Jake Tomlinson, thanks to the Tomlinson, thanks to the 4-month prime. Kazmate, thanks to the 3 quid. Thanks to the content you supply. You're welcome, man. England, Saudi Arabian YouTube had you out your chair. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. As an esports fan, a long-time esports fan, I was following many esports before Rocket League was even a thing. I can relate. Those are some of the moments I'll never forget, just where I'm on the edge of my seat and then up and out of it while watching some competitive game. My goodness, what a double save by FairJame. That was pretty crazy. He made it difficult for himself at the first touch, but he did really well to get to that ball. FairJame he's being so sneaky as well. It's not just oKhaliD. I mean, I think actually FairJame and oKhaliD, they're very similar in one way, and that is that they are so difficult to get off the ball. Like when you're trying to set up a dribble or a shot, they're right there. They're feinting, they're faking, they're threatening challenges the entire time. It's one thing that I really noticed about oKhaliD when he first burst onto the scene. I was like, wow, this guy's ball pressure is like right up there with FairJame at his best. It's one of the things that makes him so difficult to play against. Brilliant save as well by FairJame. And that's on a oKhaliD bounce dribble as well. And that was not what oKhaliD wanted to do there. But look, he's still got so much pressure because his shooting is good enough that he can just keep attacking. And FairJame's boost is running out, and now oKhaliD will get the goal. You feel like even if FairJame did save this, oKhaliD was probably going to score in the next attack, or if not, then maybe the one after that. Okay, so you think that oKhaliD needs to get a better shot repertoire. Well, I don't think that's one of his biggest problems, because he has so many variations off ground shots, and he's got so many little fakes, and he's got so many volleys, half volleys, like basically so many different timings that he can hit his shot at, that it doesn't really matter that they're all ground shots. They're all different. You have to defend them in different ways, and that's the idea that you're trying to really force your opponent to have to deal with in 1v1. You don't want to do the same shot every time, in the sense that you don't want to let your opponent defend the same way every time. Now with oKhaliD, he has so many different timings and so many different approaches, so many different speeds that he's comfortable playing at, that it's very difficult for his opponents to read him when he's dribbling, and that's what makes it viable, even if he does it all the time. You didn't say that. I'm sorry, I misread, but I stand by what I said. Dragon RL, thanks to the 4-month tier 1, and also OSM for the 29-month. Welcome back, man. And Totty Gun for the brand new tier 1. Welcome. Does oKhaliD have a Twitch? No, I don't think he has any intention of streaming. He just plays Rocket League. That's what he just plays, and he's really good. But luckily he loves to compete, so we still get to witness his gameplay. I don't know what happened to oKhaliD here. I would rewind, but the VOD will freeze, so I'm just going to leave it. I think he just missed.
Sup, Johnny.
Yeah, I think I never got around to telling a story because something interesting happened, but right before Fusion Grand Finals, and you guys remember Fusion 1v1 tournament, it wasn't a tournament where teams were forced to pick one player for a series. For example, Vitality had FairJame and Alpha in the semi-finals against Stormtroopers, apparently, Jack. But in the grand final, before the series started, FairJame said that he was going to play the whole series, no matter what. Even if he's getting crushed, he's going to play the whole series, because he wants to give oKhaliD the like the opportunity to beat him. Basically, he's just gonna say, okay, let's find out who wins the series between us, because Vitality had already won the main event, which was Fairy Peaks. That's all he really cared about. He's like, okay, we've won the main event, let's just play a series and see who wins. Fairy Peak ended up winning it. Like, if Vitality hadn't won the main event by then, if Oxygen had beaten Vitality in the 2v2, I think that Alpha was probably subbing in when Fairy Peak was down 3-1. They probably sub in Alpha. So we would never have got that legendary comeback from Fairy Peak. I mean, I say that. Maybe we would have. Maybe we would. I don't know what Vitality were thinking that day. I don't know what was going through their heads. That's a really good shot by oKhaliD. That's probably something that was going through their heads that day.
Not sure if you if you still did replay reviews.
Sif4, I think I did. Did I not say thanks for the tier 3 sub? Because I think I saw that. I wrote you down in the list. Oh, that's a bit careless by Fairy Peak. He left oKhaliD to shoot that. No, this isn't from Fusion. This is from Ranked Games today. You can see there were 3 more Ranked Games that I'm not going to stream because I want you all to head over to Fairy Peak's channel and watch them. I'm just going to show you guys these 2 because they were my favorite. I was really impressed with Fairy Peak in Game 1, and this game 2 is just like a showcase of oKhaliD's dominant grounded style, just ridiculously fast recycling of every single play, but the impossible way that Fairy Peak hangs onto a game. Whoa! Philly, just confirmed I'll receive a turn off for a job I'm working towards the last 5 years. Massive congrats, dude. That is awesome. That must feel pretty good. You should celebrate. Hey, but thanks for that donation as well. That is a huge amount of money, man. I really appreciate that. And again, congratulations on the job. That is huge. I can kind of relate. I've been doing Rocket League for about 5 years now, and you know, RLCX has just started. We're doing that tomorrow, so that's exciting. Can't wait to get that going. Zed Gibbs 125, thanks to the 2-month tier 1. Welcome back to you as well. That's a brilliant flick by Fairy. My goodness, is Fairy Peak good at just putting shots on net. Both these guys are just so good at that. They don't mess around. They actually know how to score flip reset shots, ceiling shots, air dribbles. But these things take too long, so they're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go score. I'm just gonna go shoot on net. Hey Z Gibbs, thanks man. I really appreciate the kind words. oKhaliD playing keep away, but that wasn't the best keep away there, because Fairy Peak has got the boost. Oh, that bump, though. No way does oKhaliD get that bump. Oh, man, Fairy Peak must have been annoyed at that one. I forgot about that one. But yeah, this end of the game, don't blink, guys. This is where it gets ridiculous. You have to see this one. I mean, it's just such a shame that we don't get to see more Fairy Peak playing ones. He's such a beast at ones. My goodness. He maybe played once in stream because he felt a bit washed after the France 1v1. He's like, I need to get my level back up. So he just played for like, you know, a couple of hours and he's a beast again. So he has to go for the 0-second play here. Barely gets it up into the air. Double touch. Justin! Oh, can you believe it? It's on the goal line. Unreal unluck by Fairy. I want to just pause on that frame. Wait a minute, it's going to be frozen, but let me pause on a couple of frames for you guys. First of all, we got this brilliant frame of Fairy Peak's hype / excitement, adrenaline peaking as the ball goes onto the goal line. And then moments later, we have this brilliant frame of the aftermath, balls on the goal line. There's the face palm. So a couple of great emotes for you there. If we go sub to Fairy Peak, you'll notice at the bottom of the screen here, he's got 433 out of 800. When he reaches 800, he's going to do a cooking stream of sushi. So can 367 of you guys please go and subscribe? That will also give him enough emote slots to add both of these faces from that face cam as new emotes for his channel. I think they would be great additions. We've got Fairy Peak, like, it's not a posed emote. You know when people do their emotes and they're posing for it, you can just tell. It's just a fake emote. Fake emotion, fake news, but this is real, you know. This would look fantastic in Twitch chat. Sub to Fairy Peak, twitch.tv/Fairy Peak. Go to his recent VoDs. You'll find this VoD in Vitality, one's trail into Fall Guys. It's a 1 hour 36-minute video. I say that because I think there were 2 streams this day with the same title. Look for the 1 hour 36 one. Go about 1 hour into it and you'll be able to watch 5 games, not just the 2 that I showed you. Again, it's twitch.tv/fairypeak, no exclamation mark, just fairypeak.